Hello YouTube and fellow DC Comic fans, I'm Keith One Shot, and this is my Comic Complete Dramatic Reading Series, and today, we will be covering The Flash, issue 27, Running Scared, Part 3, I Will Possess Your Heart by DC Comics. All art, text, characters, and storylines belong to DC Comics and their respective owners, not me. If you enjoyed this story, feel free to go out and support DC Comics and your local comic book shop. We start this story off at the Flash Museum in the 25th century, where we see Iris West running through the Flash Museum, carrying with her one of the Black Hole's guns. We then see a red and black energy crack past Iris as she falls to the ground. We then hear Barry say to her, "Get out of here, Iris!" Iris then says, "Barry, what is wrong with?" Then we see another red and black blare zoom past Iris, giving off a loud crack. We then hear an excerpt from Eobard Thawne's foreword to The Life and Times of the Flash, the world's greatest hero, where he says, "I used to dream about meeting him, Barry Allen, the Flash. I'd write little stories in my head about the connection we'd shared, that he would see how alike we were, and then the Flash would know how much he meant to me and feel the same." We then see the Flash, Barry Allen, wearing a new red and black negative Speed Force powered suit, and he is smashing Reverse Flash through the statue of the two of them at the Flash Museum. As Thawne gets struck, he says to Flash, "Love the new you, Barry." We then see the two speedsters' trails crash through the walls of the museum, leading outside, hearing a loud boom. We then see Earth from space, where we see the two speed trails crisscrossing at top speeds around the world. As Flash keeps smashing Reverse Flash, we hear Thawne say to Barry, "You've always been my biggest influence. It's great to see that I can return the favor. Now that you're one with the negative Speed Force, you can ditch the loser sidekicks. You know what I'm capable of as Reverse Flash. You've seen me in action." We then see Thawne crack Barry across the face with a punch as he says to Barry, "Just imagine what we could do together as partners, as friends." Barry then violently grabs Thawne by the hands and head as Barry screams, "We are not friends!" We then see a huge blast of negative Speed Force energy, giving off a loud whoosh-a-crack as the two speedsters are now moving so fast that they enter the negative Speed Force time stream. We then hear a loud boom as we see Barry smash Reverse Flash to the ground. The two are now surrounded by erupting volcanoes, shooting out molten hot lava as they continue their flight. Thawne tells Barry, "The Earth, it's younger. You've brought us back in time, to the beginning of the world. We've done this before, you know. Launched ourselves back into the distant past. Don't you just love how history repeats itself?" Barry then screams at Thawne in a rage, "Shut up! I'm gonna snap your neck, Thawne!" Reverse Flash and picks himself up and says, "I gotta tell you, Barry, a few years ago, it would have really hurt my feelings to hear you say that." Then, suddenly, Thawne grabs his hands around Barry's head, squeezing it. As Thawne's eyes are now fiery red, he continues to tell Barry, "But now, to think that I could cause you so much anger, that I could get under your skin like this, it warms my heart. It's hard to imagine I was ever so mad at you for forgetting me." Barry then grabs Thawne's arms and says to him, "Thawne, do you really want to know why I didn't remember all of our history? It wasn't because of some big cosmic occurrence or some change in my timeline. It was because you were forgettable." Then we see Barry stand up and tackle Reverse Flash into the negative Speed Force time stream. We then see Flash and Reverse Flash fighting each other as they skip across all of time, from the early caveman days, to the reign of the Egyptian Empire, to the time of knights, demons, and dragons, through the battlefields of Vietnam, and even into the present day and into the near future. During the fight across time, Thawne has the upper hand as he says to Barry as the two battle, "This is just silly, us fighting like this. I never enjoyed this part, to be honest with you. I'm actually not a fan of physical violence, and let me tell you why. When I watched your whole life and saw how much you blamed yourself for all of your misery, it was better than any punch I could ever throw." We then see Barry crash Thawne into the wall of the Flash Museum in the 25th century. Iris sees this, and with a worried look on her face, she says, "Flash, what? What is happening?" We then see Barry in his new negative Speed Force suit, standing over Thawne, ready to take the final blow. Then Barry says to Thawne in a rage, "Why, Thawne? Why won't you stop? Why do you keep invading my life?" Then Thawne says to Barry in fear and sadness, "Because it's the only time you'll spend with me." Barry then replies to Thawne by yelling, "You are so pathetic! That's why you tried to ruin my future? Why you ruined my past?" Barry then runs circles around Thawne as fast as he can, building up a trail of negative Speed Force energy as Barry, the negative Flash, screams, "You murdered my mother!" Then Barry smashes Reverse Flash, sending him flying down to the ground. Thawne then stands up and replies to Barry by saying, "And I do it all again, but for now, I'll settle for the next best thing, Iris." Then Thawne stands up and runs towards Iris, but he slips and falls down to the ground as he says, "What? No, my speed!" Then Barry tells Thawne, "It's gone! I tore it from your body! You brought us here to reveal some truth about me? To call me a liar? You talk all about the people I've hurt, all the bad that I've done, but all you did was show me what you really are, a sad little nobody who wanted to be me. But no one will ever build an Eobard Thawne museum. You and I, this thing between us, it's over!" Reverse Flash then stands up and takes off his mask as he says, "Is it Barry? Is this the end? I'll let you in on a little secret. You think murdering your mother was bad. That's not even in the top 10 horrible things that I do to you. Years from now, you're going to look back on the night your mother died, and you're going to wish that I killed you too. I've lost my powers before, and I'll get them back. You know I will." Thorn then points at Barry and screams in anger, "And I'll keep on coming back, again, and again, and again, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, we see Iris West blast Thorn with a shot from one of the Black Hole's gun, seemingly incinerating Thorn into purple energy. Barry then shouts, "No! What did you do, Iris?" Iris then turns and points her gun at Barry, as she tells him, "Get back!" Barry then removes a negative Flash suit, as he's now in the normal Flash suit. Then Barry says to Iris, "What? You don't have to be afraid." Iris then says, "Like hell I don't." Then Barry takes off his mask and tells Iris, "This is all my fault. Lying to you put you in this situation. But I'm telling you, it's me, Barry Allen." Iris then says to Barry, "What happened to you?" Then Barry replies, "I'll explain everything. I promise." Iris then asks Barry, "What he showed us about our future, our children, was it true?" Barry then replies by saying, I don't know, but I believe we can change things. The future isn't written in stone. One of the mistakes I made before was trying to fix my past by myself, but now we can fix the future together." As Barry reaches for Iris' hand, we see negative Speed Force energy shock Iris. Then Barry says to her, "Sorry, the negative Speed Force. It's still coursing through my veins. I didn't." Then Iris says, "Barry, take me home." Then we see the two flash away from the 25th century in an instant. We then go to Star Labs in Central City in the present day, where Wally West is still healing from Thorn's recent attack on him. We see Barry and Iris there checking out Wally. As Barry says, Star Labs said Wally's connection to the Speed Force is working overtime to heal from Thorn's attack. Barry then looks at Iris and says, "Wally should be up and running in no time." Then Iris says to Barry, "Is there anything else? Anything else you've lied to me about?" We then see Barry thinking about the other Flash, the other Wally West who recently came back to tell Barry that someone had altered and changed their timeline, how 10 years were stolen from everyone's lives, how even their memories were erased, and that people and relationships were taken from everyone's lives, a burden that Barry deemed too big to tell. Barry then says to Iris, Then Iris cries and hangs her head low as she says, "Just go away, Barry." We then see Barry leaving Star Labs, as we hear another excerpt from Aboard Thorn's Forward, in which Thorn narrates, "It's a shame, but I doubt I'll ever meet him, the Flash, to tell him how I feel, that even though I had no one in my life, his sense of hope was a light in the darkness of the future, and as long as I had that, I was never alone. Aboard Thorn." We then see Barry alone in his lab, looking down in sadness, thinking about everything that just happened, about Iris, about his future, about Thorn, about his new connection to the negative Speed Force, and what that means for him. And that ends today's issue. Comic published by DC Comics. All rights, story, art, and characters belong to DC Comics and their respective owners, not me. This has been The Flash, issue 27, Running Scared Part 3. I will possess your heart, and I'm your host, Keith One Shot. If you like this video, make sure to check out the rest of my Comic Complete dramatic reading series, and support DC Comics by picking up a copy of the trades and single issue comics. Support your local comic book shop, take care, and have a great day. Goodbye!